Sometimes I feel really discouraged as an educator. That was true back when I taught elementary school. It's still true now that I teach graduate students. We all feel that way sometimes. If you're feeling discouraged, feeling like you're working so hard and it's not making a difference, it may be because sometimes we plant these seeds and we don't see those seeds bloom and grow for years after students leave us. But it also may be that there are signs of your impact that you're just not noticing. So in this video, I'm going to share 10 signs that you are making an impact. If you're new to me or new to this channel, I'm Julie Hasson, a professor, researcher, and teacher advocate. I've spent the past 5 years studying long-term teacher impact, trying to understand what teachers say and do that makes a difference in students' lives. And even though that's my area of research, I still sometimes feel discouraged as an educator. That was true back when I taught elementary school. It's still true now that I work with grad students. We all feel that way sometimes. So if you're feeling discouraged, it's probably just that you're not seeing evidence of your impact. This may be because sometimes we plant seeds and those seeds don't bloom and grow until long after a student leaves us. It may be years before a student even recognizes the impact of something we've taught, the impact of the connection that we've made. But it also could be that there are everyday signs of your impact that you may not recognize. So in this video, I want to give you 10 signs that you are making an impact. The first one is students are happy coming into your classroom. We don't smile coming into places where we don't want to be. So if you notice those smiles, that sense of lightness, then you've created a space where kids feel like they belong and want to come and learn. And that's a sure sign that you're making an impact. The second sign is when your quiet students speak up. I was an anxious, shy kid from kindergarten through grad school. But there were certain classrooms where I would answer a question, volunteer an idea, speak out. And I remember those classrooms and those teachers. They created a space where it felt safe for me to push past that fear and anxiety and share something. That's a sure sign that those teachers made an impact on me and that you are making an impact on your kids. The third sign is related. It's when you see any of your kids take a risk in learning. Learning is so full of risks. There's a risk of being humiliated, of making a mistake, of feeling rejected. But when you create a classroom where kids are willing to take those risks in pursuit of their own learning, you are making an impact. The next sign is that students show pride in their accomplishments. And you know that look they get on their faces when they've achieved something that they wanted to achieve. I talked to a woman when I was gathering data once at a farmer's market. Her name is Kathy. She's probably about the same age as me, so it's been a long time since she was in kindergarten. But she's got this clear memory of her kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Nash, sitting on the rug next to her, teaching her how to tie her shoes. And she felt such a sense of pride in learning how to tie her shoes all by herself. Mrs. Nash, in that little moment, made a big impact that stuck with her for decades. I see it in my grad students when they write a paper that they struggled with. Whatever content you teach, whatever grade or subject area you teach, I know you see signs of kids showing pride in things that they've accomplished. Look for those, because those are signs that you are making an impact. The next sign is that students open up to you and share things, because they don't do that without a high degree of trust. So when they disclose something to you, whether that's an interest or a need or maybe something that's happening with them either inside or outside of your classroom, that gives you an opportunity to respond in a way that's supportive and helpful and certainly makes an impact on a student's life. The sixth thing, the sixth way, the sixth sign that you are making an impact on your students is when they extend learning beyond your classroom. My daughter Kaylin is a third grade teacher. She teaches about bees. And you know she's making an impact when those third graders come back to the library so excited because they found a book about bees. My friend Jennifer is a college professor. She teaches accounting, and her students love to send her pictures of things they find in the real world that relate to her content. And when you see students extending that learning beyond the classroom, you know that you've made an impact. The seventh sign, that's hard to say, the seventh sign is when students show kindness to each other. When they show that they're willing to help, to assist, to be empathetic, to be compassionate, you've created a community where you're making an impact. I talked to a woman named Kristen once who remembers her teacher, Ms. Thomas, because Ms. Thomas created a sense of community in the classroom. They called it Thomasville. And in Thomasville, you took care of your neighbor. You were responsible for each other. They really operated as a little village. And it made such an impact on her life. She's a teacher now, and she tries to very intentionally create that same kind of community in her classroom. So look for those signs that they want to help each other. They extend kindness to each other. Then you'll know you are making an impact. Number 8, you see signs that student confidence is growing, that their mindset and their self-talk is becoming more empowering. I talked to a young woman named Janelle who had always had these limiting beliefs about herself and math. She just knew she wasn't good at math, and she ended up in Mr. Sampson's class, and she remembers that he never marked a problem wrong on her papers or tests. He just wrote, "not yet." And he had this way of encouraging her to just keep going, keep working through the problem, spend that little bit of time and effort, and she could do it, and her confidence and confidence grew in math. And he forever made an impact on her life. She's got her own daughters now, and she tries to help them with that same empowering mindset and self-talk that she learned in Mr. Sampson's class. So if you start to see kids showing that they're getting more confident, that they're talking to themselves in more empowering ways, you can be sure you're making an impact. Number 9, students talk about you to other students, to other teachers, to staff members. What a beautiful affirmation that you're making an impact. I have a colleague named Bill Gummerson. Dr. Gummerson is loved by students. He challenges them in the best way, and I know when I'm teaching a class, and he also has that same group of students for a class, I'm going to hear things about Bill. And so if you know that your students are sharing things about you with other students, with other faculty, you are certainly making an impact. And the last sign, sign number 10, is that students and their families express gratitude for you. It may be a quick note, it may just be a passing comment, but when they acknowledge something that you've done and the way that it's made their life better, that's a definite sign that you're making an impact. It happens in so many little ways. When we teach the little ones and they draw us a picture, just a quick email from a parent. So many teachers I know save those things in a box, and on the days when they're feeling discouraged, like you may be today, they pull that box out and look for that affirmation and look for those signs. So I hope you will look for these 10 signs in your teaching day, especially when you're feeling discouraged, when you're feeling like you're not making an impact, because impact happens in so many small ways every day. You just have to look for it, pay attention, recognize it. And please know that no matter what, even on your worst day, you are the best hope for some kid. Your work matters, you matter. Keep going.